Hi guys, today again we are going to be talking once more about multiplying those univariate polynomials by that monomial, but this time we're going to be including a negative coefficient. So the process is exactly the same. The only difference is that we have this negative coefficient sitting in front of our entire situation. But we're going to treat it exactly the same, okay? Let's go ahead and dive in. First up, we know that we need to distribute this entire coefficient into each of the terms inside of our parentheses. This negative 3y to the fourth will first be multiplied by negative 2y to the second. I'm just going to go ahead and write this all out. Negative 3y to the fourth power times negative 2y to the second power. Good job, we completed our first arrow. Now let's distribute in to the second term. This time I'm going to add in that plus in between, plus negative 3y to the fourth power times 6y. Okay, we successfully used our second one now. Now this third term, there's a subtraction in there. So I'm going to rewrite this as a subtraction. Okay? We are subtracting this next term. And again, we're going to multiply negative 3y to the fourth times 7. Getting a little cut off, my apologies. There we go. Getting a little long. That's okay. So let's go ahead and multiply this first set of terms by each other. Remember, we're going to use that product rule again, where when we have the same base of two things that we're multiplying together, we can add those exponents together, okay? So this first part, negative 3 times negative 2, we know is a positive 6. And then let's multiply these variables together. Y to the fourth times y to the second. We're going to add those exponents. So we have y to the sixth power. Now we're going to move on to the second portion. Again, bring that addition down. Let me fix this camera. There we go. So negative 3 times a positive 6 is going to be a negative 18. And remember, anytime I'm dealing with negative situations, I like to add in a parentheses just to make things crystal clear, okay? Next up, let's multiply those variables together. Remember, this is y to the first power. Y to the fourth times y to the first. Adding them together is y to the fifth power. And then finally, over here, I'm going to bring down this subtraction. And again, I know my result is going to be a negative again, so I'm going to use those parentheses. Negative 3 times a positive 7 is negative 21. But there's no y's involved in this 7, so I'm just multiplying it by nothing. So I'm just going to have y to the fourth, okay? Now, just a couple more steps that I need to simplify. We're almost done. We just need to clean up these parentheses a little bit. This first term here, we don't need to do anything with it. It's already positive. We don't have anything else to do. 6y to the sixth. Now, second part, adding a negative, we know is the same thing as a subtraction. So adding that negative 18y is the same thing as subtracting 18y to the fifth. And then finally, we are subtracting a negative 21y to the fourth. We know minus a negative becomes a positive 21y to the fourth. And congrats, we have multiplied that monomial with that negative coefficient by that univariate polynomial. Okay, let's go ahead and do one more example. This time, we are going to have negative 7x to the third times negative 9x to the third plus 3x to the second minus 5x. Okay, let's go ahead and distribute this out. First things first, I'm going to take this whole coefficient and I'm going to multiply it by our first term. Okay? So we have negative 7x to the third times negative 9x to the third. Got our first part. Second part, I'm going to bring down that addition. We're adding that negative 7x to the third times that second term of 3x to the second. Now I'm going to bring down that subtraction, minusing. We're going to multiply in negative 7x to the third times that 5x. Whew, these are getting a little long, but that's okay. Okay, let's go ahead and multiply these out. First set of expressions, let's go negative 7 times negative 9 is a positive 63. Using our product rule, x to the third times x to the third. 3 plus 3 is 6. Plus, now I already know that I'm going to have to deal with a negative here. Negative 7 times a positive 3 is a negative 21. And then let's use that product rule, x to the third times x to the second. We get x to the fifth. And jumping over to our last set, again, I know that there's going to be a negative because a negative 7 times a 5 is negative 35. X to the third times a single x, x to the fourth. Our final step, let's go ahead and clean this up, get rid of any parentheses, get rid of any extraneous or additional operational signs. 63x to the 6, don't need to do anything there. Here we're adding a negative. We know that turns into a subtraction, 21x to the 5th. And then finally, minusing a negative, we are going to have plus 35x to the 4th. I know that I am all done because all of my terms are different. None of them have the same exponent. Nothing else can be combined. We are all set and we successfully multiplied that monomial with that negative coefficient, that negative 7, by that univariate polynomial. Awesome job, guys. See you tomorrow.